So here goes this part. When I finally got my car, I went back to my house to see my parents and sort of try to talk to them. But my mom, I knocked on the door and was like asking my mom, can I come in and talk to you? And she said, hold on, maybe 5 minutes. And I did, and a police officer actually came, and he was like, hello, what's going on here? And I was like, well, I just got out of the hospital. I was just wanting to see, like what's going on, like why I can't go into my house. And the police officer started talking to my mom without me. And then he came back out and he said, well, both of you are on the lease, and your mother she could either choose you to stay with her, or she can choose your father to stay with her. But under certain circumstances, because there was, the court systems made me file a charge against my dad. I wasn't going to do it, but it was so bad that they made me. And since that charge against my dad, I couldn't stay there. So I was on the lease, and so was my mom. And it's either I kicked them out of the house and took my apartment back over, or I let my mom and dad have it, and I let my mom have it, and of course, her pick my dad over me. So I did that, and I had at least $50. I didn't get to work for a long time. So I went to the store and I got some peanut butter, a 50-count pack peanut butter crackers, and a whole bunch of waters to drink and eat. And I packed up as much clothes that I could, and so I stayed in my car for about a week or more than that, because I was so prideful. I didn't want anybody to know what happened to me, or like what my parents did or anything like that. And I kept going to one of my friend's house, and I kept taking showers, and then I would leave, and I would come back and try to hang out. And I stayed in my car for that whole time, and then she finally caught on to what was going on, and she's like, you need to tell me what's going on. And so I finally told her the whole story. She let me stay there with them. She was helping me get back on my feet. She was such a good friend. I couldn't thank God enough for her, really. And one of my family members contacted me after that. It was about 2 months after I moved in and stuff, and they was like, hey, you really need to come live with us. We can help you out. We really want you to be okay. And I was like, hey, I probably should do this. It is my family, and she's like, your mom wants you to. And I just wanted to make my mom happy, even though she wasn't in my life at all. My mom didn't talk to me through this whole entire period. And this period right here was the hardest period. I didn't have any family who really wanted to help me. None of them cared to really talk to me. Friends, all I had was this one friend and her boyfriend and his mother-in-law really in my life, and that was it. And then some people at my work, I didn't have anybody else. And so that was a really, really dark period for me. I had to do my IVs and stuff. I usually had someone help me. So it was a difficult period for me. I got super depressed during that time. And my favorite cat, I loved to death. I had to get rid of him. That was hard because he was like my baby. So all that was happening. So I moved in with my family member. One night I left because I was hanging out with one of my new friends from school, and I came back to the apartment, and I was looking for something in the drawer because I can't remember why I was looking in there. But I was doing a fundraiser for school, and it and I looked in my drawer, and all my money was gone. All my certificates that I was supposed to give out was gone. Even all my fine jewelry was gone. And like, I was distraught that, knowing what all just happened to me, and someone else could do something like this to me. So my friend who was over with me, she was like, well, and I was bawling my eyes out, and the snot everywhere. I was coughing, and she was like, you can come live with me. And I looked at her, I was like, really? It was like a glowing angel halo was above her. It was crazy. So, in 2 hours, and anybody who knows me, I have a lot of clothes, I have a lot of jewelry, a lot of shoes. So we packed up our cars. Our cars are very small. Mine was a Spark, hardly even a car. And we packed it to the max. And we packed hers to the max. And they have a guard dog, and it will bite you. So we had to like trick the guard dog that I wasn't there. So we had to like put her up. I had to like hide in places in the house and then go to her room. It was funny. So that is how I met my best friend Angelica. And I stayed with it. I have been with him for 2 years now. That's quite a long time. But that's where a lot of my story starts to get better for about 3 or 4 months until something else happened. Okay, so I want to press charges against my dad. I kept trying to get the courts to stop, like, they were making me. They wanted me to. They said that they didn't, like, he needs to go to jail. There's no way that he should get away with this. And so I went to court one day, and I had to tell the story, and, like, that was one of the hardest things to do, was talk about what my dad did to me in an open, public courtroom in front of people who don't even know me, or like really the situation. And so that was really hard. And before that, my mom actually did contact me, and she's like, if you don't go through with court, like, just please don't go through with court. I can do this, don't do it. And I tried to call the courts, and I was like, hey, I really don't want to come. And they was like, well, you have to even be able to get rid of it. So I was like, okay. So that happened. And so after that happened, I went to work like a usual work day. I was just going to work. And so after my shift, I parked right behind the store because I was late already because of court. So I parked right behind the store, and it's easy to laugh at now. It wasn't during the time. So I walked out. I just got me some new clothes. When I get stressed, I buy clothes. And so I had a bag of clothes, and I was walking. And I looked, and I was like, my car. I dropped my bags, and I was like, I started rubbing my eyes. I was like, maybe. I was like, no, my car is really gone. I was like, oh my God. I was like, my car is gone. I started clicking my alarm button. I was like, maybe I didn't park it there. Maybe I parked it somewhere else. No, it wasn't anywhere to be found. And I went back to the store. And as I was walking in, I was bawling. I was like, oh my God. And so I was bawling my eyes out. And I asked my manager, I was like, can you like look outside and see if you see my car? And so she looks outside and she goes, I don't see your car, honey. And I literally broke right there. Like, I lived over an hour away from my house at this point. So, and I literally got on a table and I fell over and I started crying. I didn't know what to do. And I knew I knew it was my parents. Like, I knew it, like, immediately. And I just started crying. I was like, I just want a break. And then we called the cops. Because she also put herself on my title, she could just get my car whenever she wanted and couldn't say anything. And he was like, yeah, since you're on the title too, you could just go take it back. I was like, well, okay, I'm going to try to do that. So I searched for over a week, almost day and night, for my car. I went around everywhere clicking my alarm button for hours and hours and days. Never found my car. So the next step was to get a new car. And actually, my new family actually got me a new car. They did the very best they could. I really enjoyed it, actually. Maybe less than a year of me having it, I was driving down the interstate and everything went out in it. My engine stopped working, my brakes stopped working, so I didn't have a car again, and I was like, oh, of course, just my luck. And I kept going into the hospital every 3 months, and at this point in my life, I had to wear oxygen. I still do. I'm not wearing it now, but I should. At this point in my life, I did have to wear oxygen 24/7. I was not allowed to work. They tried to talk me into not working at all, never working at all. And anyone who knows me, I love to work. I love to constantly be doing something, going somewhere. So that was literally heartbreaking to me. So it felt like I literally got everything ripped away from me. Like my family got ripped away from me, my work, my active life, my boyfriend, like everything just sort of poof. And so it was a hard time. Oh, and I did not mention this. Around that Christmas that all this like started happening, like was happening, I found out that my fiance at that time was cheating on me the whole entire time with somebody else. So like that was just sort of icing on the cake. All this happening at once, and yeah, I couldn't do anything about it. So that is part of my depression right now. It's not all the details, but it's the main points. And like, it really brought me down so much in my life. Like, it took a toll on my lungs. Like, before I didn't have a lot of stress. Like, they were in the 50s, they were okay. And with all this stress, like going in and out of the hospital as well, my lungs have dropped down to 26%. They have never been that bad. I've never had to stay on oxygen 24/7. But one big reason why I do CrossFit is because that hour or hour and a half that I'm there, I don't think about anything what has happened. Why? I might get a little weird around the guys there because in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking that any guy could possibly do what my dad did to me. So I get a little weird, like, I get a little weird around them because I still think about stuff. Like, I still think about that. Like, it still hurts me. And anyways, like I was saying, I go to CrossFit because that is just my hour to myself. I don't have to talk. I know I could. But it's, but they don't drill into you. So that's the big main reason why I go to CrossFit. I just go and I focus on what I'm supposed to be doing at the time. So I'm not in my mind like thinking about all these bad things that have happened or what might happen, or I'm thinking about my depression. So if you are depressed, CrossFit is a good outlet for you, and it gives you a family that you might not have had. It gives you friends that you would have never thought you would make, and it just gives you an outlet for people to come into your life when you need someone the most. So there's that.